Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain Exchange. We're going to work on our second part of our owl. Now, I'm here to teach beginners how to get started in China painting, but also to recruit those of you that have been painting a while to join us in China painting. And this is a project that kind of overlaps the beginner and the more advanced painters. I finished my owl, and this is how my owl came out. This is completely done, everything done. Now, one thing I want to stress is if you did this side of your eye in here, the red or the orange, and you don't like it, today we're going to do the other side of the eye over here. So if you don't like what you did here, you need to wipe it off, do it over on the other side here, and then go back and do it here. And the reason I say that is they have to match. Everything on here, on one side of his face, has to match the other side. So you can't change the way you're doing it halfway through. It's going to look funny. So I just thought I'd pass that on to you too. Oh, this way, I see. Yeah, this is what we have so far. This is the owl. Now, I noticed on the owl, my other owl, when I did the first fire, that there was a lot of darkness here and here. So we'll have to put that on yet before we finish. But I think that will help because you have to pull these feathers out and make them look realistic. And even up in here, I don't think I really have them pulled out enough. So I may have to do that with like a rubber eraser or something, okay? So I'm going to start with this side though, because I think that's probably the easiest right now. And I'm using an 8. I don't know what I used the last time. I'm loading my brush, a full load of yellow brown with a side load of a little bit of orange, because I like the orange there. Now remember, we're only putting texture on. You don't have to have it look perfect at this point, because when you do the wash next time, it should definitely help and make it look a lot better for you. So we're going to start up in here, and we're just going to start pulling it in like that. And if it skips over your tile or your work, that's fine. That's what it should do. You need a little bit of skipping, and you want these to be kind of in order. So you want to go around the eye, get that first level in first, and then work from there and work out. So I hope that helps you. Now on this side, you're going to flip it upside down and paint towards yourself, but you're going to put a little black in here. So I'm starting here just to flip towards myself, but I'm going to put the black in all along there before I do, because you want this to come up over the black. Okay, and it's not that bad. Really, it's not. It may look like it, but if you don't like it, keep it light. And if you don't like it, you can always darken it and make it darker on the next try. And I'm just going in with my fur brush. This is the one that has the million little, can you see it there? It looks like a rake. And I'm just going to go up here on this right there. And I'm going to start, now look here, you want it to pull over there, and you want this to pull over there. I'm just going to do this. You might have to do it on the side. Sometimes if you do both, yeah, that's better. You can get the brush working the way you want it to. So this is what I'm doing. I'm taking and putting the brush in this way, flipping it over and doing it this way to really saturate the little rake hairs. And if it's not dark enough, it's not a big deal. The main thing is you don't want to build up too much black and have it chip off. It'll look horrible. Okay, so down here we do a little bit. And then we do a little more. You want it to come out this way though. And we do a little more here. Now this over here is not part of the owl. The owl, this is like a background or something. You want to make it blue, you can. I just left it white on mine. I didn't do anything on it. Okay, so I've got that in. I'm going to clean that brush. I'm using my turpentine. Okay. And now I'm going to go back and use the other brush, which is the 8. And I'm just going to do full load. This is a full load of the yellow brown, and a side load, just a titch. You don't need much if you have a bright orange. But you do want to kind of come over that line. Can you see how I'm doing that? Let me come down a little more. There, I think that should help. I'm going to be coming over that line right there. And when you see black getting in it, then go back and put a little more color on your brush, because you don't want the black. And pull out. Now, you can pull out with your brush, but if you pull the black in, that doesn't help. So then sometimes I use a Paintnporcelain, use it just the tip of it, and pull out a little bit. And kind of keep it on an angle. Keep your, because see, it has to fan around, so you want it to, and you don't need it everywhere. It's just, wipe it off because it's going to get black on it too. Okay. And up in here, I said we probably want a little more feathery a look. I'm wiping off my Paintnporcelain as I go. And up in here, and over on this side. It's dry, but it should pull out for you. If you fired it already, well, then you're kind of stuck. And here, hang on, can't get it to come out. Might need to use a, because it is dry, I might need to use a little, let me see if I have a Paintnporcelain that's, yeah, here. It's a little stiffer. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, I've got that and that done. And they should match. This one's a little deeper. You want to make the color just a little deeper right here, because his eye is set back a little more. So just add a little deeper color in there. And I just chose to do the orange, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but very gently because that's already set up. Okay. And then you can take your Paintnporcelain if you want and pull out some of that just to give it more texture. You're only worried about texture on this visit, this time. And if you think once you do that, that there are some lines, then just gently go over them so that they aren't quite so noticeable. Okay, so that's him. Now I want to put in the black here and here before we move down to the nose. So I'm cleaning my brush, and I'm going to go for a slightly smaller brush. I think I'm going to use, this is a 6, and I think I'm going to use that there. Load it with a side load of black, and I'm just going to do the area up here. He's a little darker here, and I know we did this already, but I'm just touching it. I'm not really playing with it too much. And then I'm going to go across here. And across here, so that we catch up with the black there. This could have been a little deeper back here, so that's why I'm doing that there. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and go right up onto this. Hang on, I'm going to have to play with his eyes a little. Didn't want to have to do that, but go right up onto the white. We covered over one of the white over here too. We'll have to take care of that. And then on this side, you want it, and it doesn't matter if this comes over the white, because you're going to take and brush it out. Just a little there. And then you're going to go up here and do it. because I wasn't real happy with the way that turned out up there. This will need it. This will need it. Oh, I need a little bit of oil. This will need it. And this will need it. Okay. So now you've got it on there. And you're just going to go through, and you want to make it look like he has, these are feathers. You don't want it to look like fur. So you want it to have a little, I know I've got the black there. I will take care of that. I'll show you how. I'm going to go up here, up here, up here. And then on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do a couple little flicks. Ignore any of the red you have there. That doesn't mean a thing, okay? Okay. And then there was an eyebrow right here. We want to make sure we get that. Now, I'm going back in. You can either use a pointed Q-tip, which most of you have, and that's the reason I'm using this. And you can just get that black out of there. And the same thing here, just lift the black. And over here on this little guy, just lift the black. And make sure you've lifted it here. Okay. So now he has a little more pronounced, a little better look to him in the front. We're going to go to his beak. Now you need a gray. It can be a light gray. It can be a dark gray. It can be, but I would say stick with the light gray if you have it. Okay, so I'm putting gray on, and we're going to do this area that crosses his beak here. We're going to put a little more on this side. So I'm full loading. A little more on this side, and a little more on this side. I'm kind of leaving the middle white on this time, and you'll see why. Okay, so that's what I've done. Now I'm going to get my liner. I'm using my itty bitty baby liner, this one. And I'm going to take a little of the gray again with a little black. So I'll put black on, and then I'm going to put gray on my liner. And you want to make little ribs across his nose like this. And this. There. See how I did that? Then go into your black completely, and you're going to do these nostrils on each side of his nose. And there's one right here. Okay. Now, if they aren't dark enough, that's fine. You've got the next fire. Don't panic with the darkness, okay? There, I wanted to make them a little more uneven. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to my 6. We're going to clean it. Make sure it has gray on it, full load of gray. And we're going to do the center of his beak. So I'm just going to paint down the center of his beak here. And you can paint across if that works better for you. Sometimes it does. For grays, I want a little more gray. Like on an angle, that's fine. Then we're going to put the black over it. So using the same brush with a side load of black, because you've got the gray on there, you're going to start on whatever side's better for you, right-handed, left-handed. And you're just going to come down the side and follow the line like this to the beak. Do the same thing on the other side. Oh, lost my black. I'm just using the front of the brush, okay? And now the reason we put the gray in there is because we want the gray to stay there. So we're going to put black. I'm just sort of using it lightly right now, just sort of to tell me where it's going to go. And with the owl, I think it's always a good idea to kind of go on lightly the first time and try to get a sense for where it's going to go before you put the color in completely. Okay, it should be like something like that. You want to leave not quite this much. You want to come in a little more. You want to leave a little, you have to pull towards the center. That's the problem when you go like that. You have to, there, it's more like that. Okay, so now that I know that, I'm going to take my black and I'm just going to go, hang on. I guess I have to load my black on both sides of my brush to get it dark enough. And I'm just going to come from there down to here. I want it darker. Oops, you can always clean up on the outside, remember. And then I'm going to do it here too. Okay, I'm going to take this. I want this a little. Okay, now take a little brush. Here's a little brush. I have a little brush here, one of these rounded ones. And I'm just going to put a little gray on it because I was a little curvy there, and just straighten out the gray. And straighten out the gray this way. Oops. My hand is not cooperating with me. Okay. I'll put more black on here. There we go. Okay. It's tedious. It is very tedious. Okay, and then you're going to take either this or what have you and just make the bottom of his beak. Make sure it's good. There. Okay. And I want a little there, okay. So that's his beak. Now, it might be a little far down, but like I said, we've got the next fire, so it is a little far down though. I want this. There. That's better. Okay. Now we're down in here. This section here is white. So you notice I went over it with this and I went over it with that. That's fine because it's white. All right. And then, but in this section, like right in here, it's kind of a, it's kind of a not a gray, but kind of a gray. So we're just going to take our brush and do a little bit like this. Just a little bit of color. I'm just doing the color. I'm not doing anything but the color. There we go. And I'm going to put a little gray on this side here. There we go. Okay. Not a problem. Now, if you want to make it so it looks a little more fur-like, you can by just, oh, it's got black on it. These furs kind of come up this way. But you really can't see them. But if that makes you feel better, you can do that, okay? Alrighty, now we're going to do the bottom part here. This is interesting because what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in with black. Oh, and this is black and this is black. And then there's a little black down here. And then we're going to take gold and put over the top of it. So let me show you how that works. This we're just going to fill in with black. Now, I do want, let's do it with the what you call brush, the fur brush. The reason I say that is because you do want it to be all like feathery. So let's do that way. Okay, you do it both sides on the fur brush. And you're just going to do it like this. These are like this, semicircle. See that? They're like, yeah, like crescent shaped. There you go, like that. And we want to come up to here and over into here a little. And then we're going to do this. And if you're using that rake brush, make sure you get the paint on both sides to get it on there dark enough for you. I want it to go a little over the fur there. And I want it to go a little over the fur here, or over the feathers here. I know I keep saying fur. Now, it's essential that you get this as dark as you want it, because we are not going back over this again. This is the one chance you have to make this look feathery and be dark enough. So take advantage of it and put your colors on. If you go over the tape, it's not a problem. The tape is nice because it kind of gives you a mat or a frame. Okay. And I think I'm just going to do a little here. Okay. Now, this section here is all feathers. Okay. And this section right here is all feathers. Oops, running out of oil. And then over here at the very end, we're going to put in some yellow brown. Oh, not quite that heavy. Okay. Now, this section here and this section here and here are fur. Feathers. So, again, you're going to try to, these don't need to come up, and those don't really need to go down except at the very end. So I'm going to do it at the very end here. Okay, and the same thing right here. I'm looking upside down at a drawing, and it's these right here. Oh, that was ridiculous. There. They just need to be a little there. And always take and clean out where you don't want that black in there. Okay? Don't want the black. Oh, got black on that. I don't want the black here, and I don't want the black here. Okay. Alrighty. Now, what are we going to do with this? This is the fun part. Oh, right here yet. I forgot. Down here at the very bottom. Can you, right here? Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, okay. We're going to put some feathers. And we're going to clean it out. You can try doing it with the Q-tip, but it doesn't always work the way you want it to. Okay? You have to kind of squint your eyes to see what it's going to look like, because when you look at it this way, it doesn't look the way you think it will. But if you squint your eyes, you won't see any of the red on there. And so consequently, it'll look pretty decent. Okay, so I got it there, and I got it up there. This could be a little whiter there. Okay, now here. Okay, I'm using my big 20 filbert. Yep, it's a big brush that you need. A big 20 filbert. There we go. That's better. Okay. At that point, he's done with the first fire. Give it a good once over. Make sure you've got it going the way you want it to go. Make sure you've got all the fur where you want it to be. Don't forget to take your tape off before you fire it. Then pick up those brushes, keep painting. I hope you enjoyed the program, and I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe so that other people can learn more about China painting and we can get the word out to more people. You also can look at the links below. My paintnporcelain.com website has a lot of freebies and printables for new and experienced painters, as well as studies, supplies, and even some of my hand-painted china. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time.